you come have a look at this here, Ted? He ain't got full set of snap-ons. He's got one that's been misscreened. Can't be the full ticket there. Can't be a real mechanic if you ain't got clean, shiny new stuff like those guys on YouTube. I've been getting a real mechanic. No, it's a fireman there. Hang on, mate. It's out of this kit here, which is from Blue Point, yeah. Okay. 4 breakdowns. Cheaper tools. Brilliant. Yeah, very painful story behind this socket here. I lost it down the steering column of a DAF, couldn't find it. Yeah, always good to have spares, extras and cheaper ones that you take with you when you're doing jobs where you're at risk of losing your tools. And it does happen. You can be socketing away using a quarter drive and then suddenly it disappears. As for being a real mechanic there, Jed and Ted, it's not about the tools you have or the name on them, it's about the results that you get from the work that you do. That's all I can say. Yeah, everybody, welcome back to the Trailer Fits Toolbox. I actually made a slip of the tongue. It's Blue Spot Tools, 9-piece torque set from 10 to T60. Yeah, which of these they're going to be road tested by me. I know they're okay because they're from Blue Spots. Cheaper alternatives, and I've just got to find a place to park these along with the rest of my tools. It's getting a bit disorderly now, as usual, but I'll get back to you and I'll review that. I've done quite a few reviews of Blue Spot tools before, which you can have a look at the playlist below on the channel page. Interesting for you if you want cheaper alternatives. I've just got to say, I know somebody said that the videos are all over the place, but I'm taking opportunities while I'm working to show you things. So I will show you the extensions, and especially the Wobble drive, some wire strippers. This is jumping from drawer to drawer, and some side cutters as well, and my choices of side cutters and why I use certain side cutters as well. Okay, and we have some friction between Boney and a Chimp, and I'm going to show you how not to cut a cable tie, and I'll tell you why in a little while. Okay, because the electrical drawer as well is a little bit messy, as you can see, and I'll talk a little bit about super seals, which are now the done thing, aren't they, on motor vehicles or certain motor vehicles. But yeah, here we go again. Busy week, and if it isn't electrics, then it's been chassis bashing. Yeah, so this is going to cheer up some of you Land Rover owners, because we have some Land Rover today. Now, yeah, this is the tools I used for removing a gearbox. It's quite intense work on a Land Rover Defender, because you have to strip off so much to remove the components to get to the gearbox, and we do not have the specialist transmission jack, believe it or not for removing gearboxes from underneath the vehicle. Okay, so here is the transfer box, which needs to be stripped off, and of course it has a PTO on it because it's a commercial vehicle. Yeah, it works for a living. So there's the PTO drive pumping unit, okay, with the hydraulic pipes attached, and this is where it fits in. Most Land Rover owners won't know that those teeth on the back of that gear is for PTO or a power takeoff, and this is the engagement lever. You can see the screws holding the carpet in. All has to be removed, and I found somebody's torch. Yes, mechanics' torches can be found on the undersides of vehicles. Magnetic, they leave them there, they forget them, the vehicle goes out, and then the torch will stay lit until the batteries go flat. But PB has got his torch back now. Langer spanners and your tools out. This is the whole idea, having actually quite large toolboxes and arrangements to lay your tools. You can see them in an instant. When you've tidied up, you should always leave yourself some time to clear away and clean your tools, so you can see if anything is missing. You can then go and look for it. So yeah, chassis bashing. The Land Rover requires quite a lot of silverware, and I'm going to show you the prop shaft drive, which is this, which is just for prop shaft bolts. As you can see, it fits in just nicely between the yokes, and the Wobble drive, which gives you a little bit more of an angle. So if you can't get a straight bar in, you can use the Wobble just to give you that little bit of leverage there. As you can see, that little bit of angle which is important, and it's not like a UJ, so the silverware drawer down here will keep coming back to this as I use the tools on jobs. Yes, these are real jobs that I'm doing. So yeah, there it is, that's what it looks like, and I'm pretty sure somebody at one time took an angle grinder to a normal standard type of extension to get this type of result, but it works. That's the thing, it's about getting results at the end of the day. And of course I do also have 3/8 drive extensions as well, which are impact, but generally I use half inch extensions with 3/8 sockets on them, as you can see, with an adapter, okay, with power tools. So there's a Wobble drive, it's a short one, standard length if there is such a thing, okay, and a super long one for getting bell housing bolts on certain vehicles. Yeah, so you can see that's more than twice the length of a standard one. Nice. So yeah, extensions, well, I don't need to tell you this, do I? You use extensions to reach into recesses and the such like, okay, and I use, if I need to, a half-inch drive extension. It saves me buying loads of extensions, okay, with the 3/8 adapters on them, put the gun on it, and there is always a time when you can't get a socket on anything, okay. So here we go, here's a little bit of chassis hugging. Yeah, there's some tree huggers about, there's also some chassis huggers, yeah, times when you need to get bolts. And Land Rover owners, Puma 2.2, 2.4 with a 4-transit gearbox on it. They're 2 bolts that face forward, bastards, utter nightmares to get at, but you can get them with a Wobble drive and extension, as you can see there. Otherwise you've got to take the exhaust off. I have taken the support bracket off so you can see, but this is the way you go. Okay, so there's an old naval term which we use in the English language, which is a loose cannon. This comes from the time when they used cannons on sailing ships, and if it wasn't lashed down and the ship was rolling about, it could hurt quite a few people because it would roll about on the deck, wouldn't it? So we use that as a term for people who were not quite all there. Okay, it's a bit like a loose hammerhead, a little bit like Chimp here. Now he actually does know the difference between using tools that might not be serviceable, one with a loose hammerhead and one that's not. And we have a story for you today about Chimp and Boney, okay, which is actually a true story. Only the names and the faces have been changed to protect people's identities. Yeah, so anyway, while you're working, it's really nice always to have music on, isn't it? When you work with guys, unfortunately, they can have disagreements about what they listen to. We do have a radio in the workshop, and yeah, we do have a license for it as well. Jim likes certain songs, and I don't blame him. Turns the music up and he rocks about to it because it motivates you, doesn't it? Especially if you're at work for a while. Unfortunately, it can wind up other people in the workshop. So Chimp's turned the music up, Boney doesn't like it, so he stormed over to the radio and he has turned the music down. Yeah. And Chimp's come back to it and turned the music back up and saying, forget you there, Boney, yeah, I want to listen to this song. Boney doesn't agree because he's a little bit of a placid type of guy, so it's really winding him up. And if this goes on for any length of time, you can imagine what it's like. So Boney's gone to the radio and changed the channel and put it on something a little bit nicer for calming his nerves, because yeah, he's a little bit of a placid type of guy, so he likes that type of music, the type of music that calms his nerves and more vibrates with his type of emotional states, which yeah, fair enough, everybody has their own taste, don't they? Unfortunately, Boney's got back to his job and of course he's got to concentrate, and again Chimp has changed the channel, not only once but 2 or 3 times, so you can imagine through the course of 2 or 3 shift times it's getting really annoying. So Chimp has getting his own way again, a little bit of a loose cannon there, and Boney's going, no, I had enough of this, I need to do something about this. Yeah, doesn't like it, starting to get really wound up with the Chimp. Yep, so solution is to find a radio station that everybody likes, use the super glue and glue the volume knob down so it doesn't move. That would sort it, wouldn't it? Yeah, not that it's applicable really, because sometimes you do actually want to enjoy it, but instead what we did, got Boney a set of earmuffs with some buds in, so he can listen to his own music without actually having to listen to Chimp's music, at the same time being safe, because that's the way it is, isn't it? Also, Chimp was told that he can't just turn the radio up to what he wants, he has to agree with everybody else. He's got to put the music on that everybody else likes. Which, unfortunately, if you ever work in a workshop, you'll find that people want to listen to Radio 2, or they want to listen to Radio 1, or Kiss FM, or something like that, or put their own music on. If you're in agreement with it, and you set the music to everybody, then it's alright, everybody can enjoy it. Yeah. So if they're in agreement, Chimp's in agreement, it's all good and it all works. If it doesn't, then it just winds everybody up. It doesn't matter whether it's in a domestic situation or in a workshop situation, it's the same sort of thing, isn't it? Yeah. So Chimp's a little bit happier. He will be getting a set of earbuds, safe ones, so he can hear what's going on in the environment as well as listening to favourite music of his. Yeah. Okay, so the older you get, the more stories you have, and some of these need to be shared with people. So, worked in a factory, crane through house quite a few years ago now, installing electrics and electric pipes, and we were taught how to cut cable ties, because one guy cut his arm actually quite deep with a cable tie and sued the company. Yeah. Now, my side cutters here have a mini set for just random electrics and small wiring, and cutting wires, things like that, which are very capable. I've had them quite a while and they've stayed sharp because they're snap-on. Yeah. Another set here, in fact I have 3 sets, a larger set which I'll show you later, but this one is more durable for cutting cable ties and larger cables. Okay, so it's also used for clevis pins quite exclusively. Okay, so cable tie a bit too thick. This one doesn't cut very well on thick cable ties, whereas this one is quite easy and it won't break. Now, cutting a cable tie in a certain way, this way will leave a sharp point, which is dangerous. You can cut yourself. Yeah, and that's because it has a hollow there. You should really have straight cut cable tie cutters, but no. So anywhere that anybody's going to stick their arm, whether an engine bay or under a chassis, or in my case the back of a trailer, and this will be applied to technicians, could cut themselves. So there are 2 sides to a side cutter. You have the deep recess one, which will give you this type of cut, which is not really good. Turn around the other way, you get more of a straight cut, which is not sharp. Okay, you still have to avoid cable ties because they can be inconvenient, but to cut it like this means it'll have a sharp edge, and you wouldn't like to cut yourself on one of these when you've rammed your hand in somewhere which is tight, would you? So here, end of the lesson for the cable tie technicians, basic training. Okay, think for other people, not just for yourself and for quickness. Okay, so you can get mini cable ties which are coloured, come in boxes. I've got a 3 coloured selection here, which is adequate for my needs. Also have super seal kits, and this is how they come. You have to crimp the pins in, then push them into the bodies. Okay, which you need a specialist tool for, because the way the hammer and the anvil on the crimper is suitable for the super seal. Okay, so these are actually really good. And here's the hammer and the anvil. Okay, well, it's just the crimpers, isn't it? But the anvil I call the bit that you push down into. Okay, specialist tool from Sealy, and I will cover that later. But basically, super seals, once they've been put together correctly, they should keep the water out for its lifetime. Although they do fail, fail quite dramatically, but on the whole they're not bad. They are better than they used to be, and these things are for quickness of assembly from a factory point of view if you had kits. Okay, so yeah, wiring, I've got a 3-point junction here, which is supply feed, which I've lost on a trailer, and you can see it's got 2 little cable ties on there, so you know where I'm leading with this. Okay, yeah, so I had to put another piece of loom in to get the wires or the electrics working, the lights working. So you can see these have all been marked up, which the wiring on this particular trailer is very complex. There's a lot of wires to this, and it runs off a plug board. So I've installed a new loom which runs from the plug all the way down to the back of the trailer, which only supplies 2 markers, 2 marker lights. Yeah. But there you go, there's the old wire that's been, the head's been snipped off, and I've had to lose the wire in the chassis, and these 2 lights now are working, which are mandatory. Okay, not all have them. A lot of these systems are simpler. You have left and right and top and whatever, but if you get confused with your wiring, which it can be sometimes trying to trace wires down a loom. Doesn't matter whether it's a trailer or anywhere else, but if you've installed something or you have to diagnose, you can always mark these, okay? And this is what the factory have done. This is Whale Tankers have done this on their trailers. So I have 3, which gives you all sorts of combinations. You can do 2 red and 1 green, or 2 green, 1 red, 2 black, 1 red, black, red, green, you know, so you get quite a different set of combinations. So literally, it's a matter of marking the wires out if you need them for reference later, or you're assembling something, okay? So I know where my circuit is now for a set of side markers, which is on the right hand side of the vehicle, of the trailer, yeah? This side is for the back lights, yeah? So these are what these cable ties are for. They're very pretty and nice, but this is the practical application for them, okay? So what I do, actually, I make super seals and mark them, okay, thanks to Whale Tankers for teaching me that, and then install them. Well, I cut the wires, then heat shrink them, and then put a marker lamp in. It's the quickest way, otherwise I have to replace the whole loom, yeah? This is my test lamp, okay? And it's also a breakout box, and I use these plugs made up a load of test leads, which for quickness. Now what I've done here to check the plug board, I've got power, just plug it in literally, and I've got light here, and this is how I tested this trailer earlier to make sure that the plug board isn't faulty, okay? So this is the type of thing you're going to build up when you have to do things consistently and repeatedly. Get yourself time saving, okay? You do this, but unfortunately cables, wires and such like in toolbox drawers always seem to take up a lot of space, don't they? Unless you have a separate box, which is not always possible, okay? So yeah, anyway, I have different types of wire strippers. This one is actually for breakdowns. As you can see, it's not really used because I don't go on too many breakdowns, but it's there. And I have this type as well, which is snap-on, and I've had these years. I can't remember when I bought them, but they've been in service for a long time. I will show you in a later video how they work. If you're interested, let me know in the comments below. So, yoga mat, yep, from eBay. Actually quite cheap material, and it's a lot of it compared to what you can buy from tool suppliers. This will do a couple of draw liners, which we're planning for rather than doing yoga. So anyway, that's it, guys. Got to lock up the toolbox now. I've got to have a rest. Next week I'm going on a training course. I'll tell you all about it in the video later. So yeah, take it easy, have a good weekend, and enjoy the storms.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled round, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative, I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win, I'll take a stab. I wanna chase a bag, I wanna weigh, I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I got a taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch. Going now, I'll give up everything. Daunting thought, if I could see my dreams, I'll make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality. Don't let go, don't let go. I'll make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality.
I just wanna find a way out, sick of the venom in my brain. Running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person, I deserve this. I just wanna break these chains. Always asking for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen too many once that I so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, but on my downfall is toxic. Day one, started the outlaws for profit. Now all I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted. Created a legacy off of me, just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to no avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail.